And
Yes.
I go
Check.
3, 2, 1, and then that's how we go in.
We're live.
Yeah, the
Smooth.
the more I do these, the more I realize what they're lacking,
Yeah.
and I don't have a consistent intro, and I figure if the mic's on, then I could say something.
Get it flowing.
And I like the 3, 2, 1. Imitation is a form of flattery.
For sure.
And
Intros are super important, I've found.
Yeah.
Like especially when you are creating videos, like on a consistent basis for YouTube.
Yeah.
Like having a solid intro, something that you can kick people off with, is like that first hook.
Yeah,
right?
for sure. It used to be music on Spotify. Hold on, I'm sorry. I'm getting my camera figured out.
For sure.
It used to be music from Spotify, but ever since... You haven't been on since we moved to YouTube.
No, and I think that I was actually going to ask you about this, or because I think you uploaded the last one we did, which was like we talked about Game of Thrones for like 2 hours.
Right.
And it was that one had some copyright issues.
That one definitely did have some copyright issues, and I forget exactly what we had done.
I think we just had some music playing, and you played some Game of Thrones stuff in it.
I did play some Game of Thrones music in it, and it was just a mess. And some of them I have to scrap. I try to go through and I try to, it's like the defibrillator. Like the clear. I try to. There's options to remove the content, mute the content that is copyrighted, but ours was just. It was just Swiss cheese,
Scrapped
if you will. Yeah,
that's fine.
Yeah, but it's still up. I think it's still up.
I'm not sure. I checked it out once just to see, and then I saw that it was like just muted completely. Yeah. So I was like,
Julien, you're lucky. You're episode number 21, bro.
Wow,
lucky number 21.
Nice.
And I thought that was appropriate because you're the reigning champion of this podcast now. You've been on 3 times.
Is that the record?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
That's for sure the record. And that's 3 consistent times, not even do-overs.
Yeah.
And I want to make note how I appreciate that you hit me up to do this podcast this time.
Oh, well,
you were like, yo, we should do this.
Yeah. I have fun coming down and doing this. I've always enjoyed doing this type of thing. And I did my own podcast for a while, and I have fun doing it. I mean, I think that being able to sit down with someone one-on-one and have like a engaged conversation that's going to go on for hours is a hard thing to do. Mm-hmm. And I think that you are good at it, and I think that I'm able to exist in that as well. So I think that it's easy for us to just get back into it.
Let me run it back. You're really good at it. You are really good at it.
Thank you.
I think everybody thinks they struggle with it because, it's a weird craft, right? And I say craft because it is a craft, and there's days after these conversations. Well, there's emotions after these conversations that exist, and a lot of it tends to be, exhaustion, and it's hard to consciously. I think we all go throughout our days, and it's easy for us to yeah, what up? No, I'm going to Subway. Fuck yourself. I don't want to hear that joke. But to consciously be appropriate to be a venue for a conversation like this. It works against, I assume you get better at it over time, but there's still parts of me where I feel like the unworked out muscle of listening. Sometimes I'm listening for so long and haven't been talking that naturally I'll just be like, oh yeah, and I'll just totally interrupted my guest. So it is kind of it's different than just conversation, Have you noticed that?
Yeah, it is. It takes a special skill that I think comes from a natural balance that you have to discover inside yourself. Mm-hmm. And it does involve turning on that, as you say, that muscle of listening.
Yeah.
Which it's muscle you have to train, straight up.
Like anything, though.
Yeah, because I think the natural instinct in a lot of us is to want to dominate a conversation, mm-hmm. And to get our ideas across, and to do so in a way that that is efficient for you and then doesn't interrupt your partner, whoever you're doing it with.
Yeah.
It's hard, man. So you just got to practice.
It's super hard, especially I lived the better part of my life being like sitting in class when it's all quiet and I'm like, oh, nobody's going to talk, huh? Okay, I got this.
Step up.
Yeah, and that was it. And I think that we all kind of, I think there's a correlation between all of our friend groups that we all grew up with. We were all kind of the class clown kids. I mean, were you in ADD?
Yeah. Did that come up when you were talking to Jake?
Yeah, and I am excited we can evolve into that conversation.
Yeah, for sure.
Give me some last thoughts here, because something I need to work on doing is, oh
Jumping
my God,
around.
there was a point last night where I was ragdolling Jacob through his experience of becoming a professional tattoo artist. I was like, oh, grilled cheese truck. Oh, okay. Oh, how good is this? So this again, and it was kind of inefficient. So to wrap that up, it's so funny, and I agree with what you say. How you were saying that it's I forget exactly what you said, but something along the lines that you enjoy having these conversations.
Yeah.
And I think that in a time, and some of my YouTube listeners will have heard me say that more now than ever, we need to be engaging in these conversations, even if it's just to catch up, because we have become so informal, to a sense where our day-to-day connections are disguised as, maybe meaningful interactions with each other, but really they're just kind of, I don't know. I'm looking for the word. They're almost like just shells of conversations. But it puts you in a position to really fucking hear what somebody has been up to. And this is something that would happen all the time. I mean, back ages where people used to fucking sit around a fire. It's not like they would hunt all day. You hunt for 2 hours, and then you're at home and you're fucking just sitting with people, and there was no distractions to turn to. And so this is a fun way to try to like tap back into something that, I don't know, is almost part of our animal selves, right?
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, if you think about it like that, like, of course, like caveman Neanderthal days, there was like the storyteller, right, around the fire who would like pass on the wisdom, and it was usually designated to like one person or like a group of people. But I think everyone naturally has like an ability to tell a story, and it may be in some cases a lack of education, lack of vocabulary. It doesn't enable people to properly express themselves. But I think everyone naturally is a storyteller in their own right. It just, I think there are levels to it.
For sure. And like anything else in life, most people will find out that you get good at anything with practice, and one thing I've spoke with Kenzie about is when we've discussed when we would allot free time for me and her to just be me and her. And, one of the things was like, man, I want to be an interviewer. I have to do interviews to be an interviewer. It's kind of, you got to put yourself in the flame with anything. So, anything that I've managed to try to get better at, it wasn't until like, oh, you want to run a 5K race? You got to sign up for a 5K race. You know what I'm saying? And this is a great way to kind of push you into it, not you personally, but push someone into a conversation scenario to force them to get better.
Yeah. And this is my favorite type of podcast too. Like all the podcasts I listen to are pretty much interview and interviewee. I listen to a couple that are more informational or educational, I guess.
But I don't want to. I don't like to call. I still can't figure out the vocabulary I like to use for this. I haven't nailed it down because this isn't an interview to me.
Yeah, I guess not. Huh?
This is like a chill. Like if anything, I want to learn from you. You know what I'm saying? Like it's to the point where I've gone 28 years of my own life, and I find it sufficient, but it's like I have a whole book and my chapter is one chapter, but there's, however many other people there are in the world are chapters in this book. I'm over my chapter. I want people to come over and hopefully I can supply, a scenario that's comfortable and lax enough for them to bring out the best them they can.
Yeah.
And I learn from them. And my only objective at the end of all of this is having not only built a community within the community. So like maybe, dude, I got to talk to you about it. I think I'm going to get another microphone. Nice. I have to side piece this now. Go ahead. Yeah, I have to side piece this because it's important, because you are going to be one of the subjects for the new ones. I'm only going to get one microphone, but I think the move is I bring over that table that's on wheels over there. Okay. And I move this coffee table, and that that microphone is clipped to that table, and this microphone this camera that's on top of my monitor is facing outward. And so it's this, that, and then this to another camera, and now we have a 3-person conversation. Whoa. Here.
I like it.
Yeah, and that way I can bring, bands, companies, because it's not uncommon for people to do things as teams, and it's fun to do things as team. It's almost a rarity to find somebody, I don't know. I would just like to explore that space, and this is a great way. For example, I have a buddy, Ian Marlowe. Shout out Ian Marlowe. He's a MMA dude, and we've but a big part about being an MMA fighter is, your coach, right. Your trainer. It's a 2-man thing. It's like you're the chess piece, he's the chess player, and he's with you every step of the way. So it would only do the process justice to have both of them on, and how much more powerful could that be?
I never thought about it that way. That's a good way to put it. Yeah. The chess player and
that's just that scenario, and then you have bands, songwriters.
Isn't Are you still?
First of all, high five. Thanks for coming. Of course. Thanks for that nice little intro. That was a brilliant little thing. How's life treating you?
It's good, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's your life update? Hit me with some stuff.
First of all, I'm blown away by the fucking soliloquy on the front of your T-shirt there. Yeah. What's going on that?
Do you want to read it out?
Yes.
Can you see it from here?
Reality is a construct, and people will simply believe what appeals to their emotions and personal beliefs. The danger we all face now is distinguishing between what is authentic and what is performed.
There you go. This is a shirt by a brand called Chinatown Market. They make they're sort of in between like streetwear and just their own thing. You know, they make a lot. Their whole aesthetic is like bootleg. Like imagine you go down to like an alleyway in downtown LA and you see racks and racks of T-shirts with like bootleg Mickey and Bart and stuff. Yeah. So that's kind of their original aesthetic, but they branched out into many other things. And I like what this shirt said. So
I like what that shirt says.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude.
Yeah. So you had Jake on yesterday.
I did have Jake on.
Old homie.
I love Jake.
He's a good dude.
This has really given me an opportunity to connect to some really cool fucking cats, dude. And I haven't seen you guys in 10 years.
Straight up.
And now you were coming on for the third time. Quick notes on Jake. He's so funny. First of all, I called him Jacob. You guys call him Jake.
Oh, yeah, I've always called him Jake.
I'll be referring to him as Jake from now on. Jake has been drawing since 2015.
Yeah. I remember when he started. I mean, I've been friends with him a long time, and he would draw stuff early, like in high school and stuff. And I could see his progression through that. Like his drawings would get better and better and better, and he would always do these really elaborate horror movie drawings of like horror movie. That's always been his thing, is horror movie stuff. I mean, he's got his whole body's covered with horror movie icons.
Yeah, he's got a sleeve.
Yeah, it's crazy. Some of the best tattoos I've ever seen are on that kid.
Yeah.
And I would just watch him. I'd be over at his house or something, just hanging out for hours doing whatever, and he'd be drawing the whole time on like just one drawing, and it would be like Pennywise or something from It, and it would turn out like the earlier ones were like okay, you know, and then like it would get better and better and better. And then, you know, he eventually started doing the actual like tattooing, and early on, like, I love you, Jake, but some of your early tattoos, and he'll be first to admit it, like the ones he did on our friend Sean were not good at all. And I I was like, when you get better, I'll get a tattoo from you. And he's fucking amazing now. And I still haven't gotten the tattoo, but we know that that's going to happen soon.
He really is amazing.
Oh, he's sick.
So he's covering my whole leg next. Yeah. Oh yeah, we had talked about that last night. And you've seen that drawing he's done, right?
Yeah. I've seen that one. It's crazy.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Such a talent. I have such respect and admiration for people that can that have that brain to hand connection where they can visualize in their head what they want to put on paper or pad or whatever,
right,
and then just make it happen over the course of hours or days. Like my fiance can do that. Like she can visualize an image of someone in her head and then just draw it, and it is what she wants it to look like. And I've always been super envious of that because I just lack that ability. Like I tried art school. I took art classes my whole life, and I could just never establish that connection of like, I'm visualizing this in my head. I want to put it on paper, and I would start and it just like wouldn't click. And that's super frustrating. So I envy and I admire people that have that ability. And Jake's certainly one of them.
There's definitely different techniques you can use to go about, I don't want to say that deficiency, that lack of attribute to your artistic process. There's, a ton of references you can do. References are a huge thing. So Jacob's process, and maybe you don't even know this, he creates a reference collage on Photoshop and then prints that and then traces that and keeps working on that, traces that trace and changes it. Yeah, I
didn't know that.
So to bring to your attention is I think you would be surprised how referenced a lot of artistic there is. And now, not to discredit anybody who can freehand, because there is in fact some very talented artists out there that can freehand, but it is not. It's pretty common for references to be part of the artistic process. Now, let me ask you a question. Is it not artistic to envision ideas and bring them to fruition? Isn't that, you seem like you're all over that shit. like memory cards.
Yeah.
I take you as the kind of guy who figured out your podcast, sitting in a garage bullshitting with friends, be like, oh, you know what we should do? You fucking sat there and came up with the brand is Night King theory. Is that not artistic in your eyes?
To me, I guess I wouldn't. To me, I feel like that's a creative aspect of the mind. Sure. So like I think that takes creativity, and I don't think I'm incapable of being creative when it comes to like critical thinking or imaginative thinking or coming up with unique ideas, things like that. The thing that I struggle with mostly is just general like art direction. Throughout creating videos for the YouTube channel or designs for our podcast, like our thumbnails or banners for our website, things like that. My first inclination is to do stuff that's very basic, and I think that's mostly just a lack of experience and lack of knowledge. But I do think that there is a higher level that people can exist on in terms of an artistic spectrum. Like I've known many people in my life that just seem to have that extra step up when it comes to creating art.
For sure.
Like you're able to create through your digital artwork, like incredible designs that are awesome.
Oh, thank you.
And that's something that maybe I could learn to do and master.
I think you could.
But you know, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, maybe that's something I'll do.
I really think that you could. I think that like just right there. So just systematically breaking down right there that aha moment when I told you that Jacob uses Photoshop references, which does not make him not artistic. What it does is has created a bridge that you don't think exists between his artistic mind and what comes out into paper. It's like I'm trying to show you, but there's a bridge that exists between there and the paper that maybe you weren't aware of. And there's a ton of bridges. There's a water slide, there's a ladder, there's a staircase. I mean, there's tons of different ways. I think that in being an art graduate from art school, I think that art is one of the scariest 3-letter words in the world, you know? But me and Jacob were talking about this, that art is not an attribute of people on an individual level. I believe that it's a human attribute that we all have, whether it be how you put away your clothes, how you carry yourself, your outfits. You know, artistic is everything. And that kind of, I think once you kind of delve into that, it makes it less intimidating, because it's like, oh, okay, like I don't need to just be drawing to be artistic. And the drawing thing is there's so many different ways to get about to execute whatever you are trying to get done. And I think that I would be curious to speculate how many of those people are just like almost splashing around without floaties, thinking, right, oh my God, I can't swim, when all they need to do is maybe just grab the floaty, you know, or the lifeguard ring or something like that. So you said you went to art school?
Yeah. And so my mom is an artist. I come from a family of artists who have dabbled in all different types of art. Like my mom was a classic painter.
Oh, wow.
Painting stuff, reminiscent.
Fine art stuff.
And my grandma as well. My grandfather, more of like a modern style of painter, very elaborate, like apocalyptic paintings. I wish I still had some of them. I'm not sure where they are.
Apocalyptic
paintings?
Yeah,
dude. He would draw, or he would paint these, back in like the 50s and 60s, he would paint these paintings of landscapes that looked like they had been destroyed by some sort of cataclysmic event, and then were dominated by like these really weird abstract shapes throughout like the skyline. It was almost like UFO worship style art. It was very weird. He had some issues mentally, so maybe that played into it. Like all good artists seem to have some sort of mental illness.
Yeah.
But, so I come from a family in it, so there was not an expectation, but there was sort of like a drive to do that myself.
Felt it was in the blood?
Yes. And like, so Otis, right around the corner here.
Right.
I essentially was going there my whole life, even before college. Like, because you could go there during the summer and take art classes as a kid. And my mom went to Otis. And
How long has Otis been there?
The Otis by LAX?
Yeah.
It's been there at least since I was like 5 or 6.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah. Because I was born up in San Francisco, and my family came down here.
Berkeley, right?
Yeah, exactly. And my mom had been going to UC Berkeley, wanted to get full into the art stuff, so we moved down here to Hermosa, and she started going to Otis. And soon thereafter, I was going to art classes there, and I went there for art classes pretty much, like I said, my whole life. And then even after high school, I went there. And I just couldn't wrap my head around it. Even at art school, people know that you have to take entry-level classes. It's not just you go, oh, well, I like, digital design work.
Yeah, you got to take fundamentals of design and color theory.
Exactly. And,
right.
It just was super overwhelming, and I couldn't do it, so I dipped out.
How old were you when you did this?
Must have been 18, whenever after high school.
For sure.
19.
I went back to school when I was 22.
Really?
Yeah, I needed a couple years to go to school.
Right. I honestly kind of was the same way, which is part of the reason why I stopped going, is because high school was a time of a lot of strife,
debauchery.
Yeah, it was a mess, dude.
Debaucherous times.
Well, you know that, and you brought it up already, that in the group of friends I was in, we were troublemakers through and through.
Yeah.
Full of nothing other than debauchery and tomfoolery and the stuff that
to say the least,
to say the least, dude. And there's proof of it out there. I mean, sadly, but there's we used to film all the antics we got up to, and that was kind of like our thing in high school. Was
ADD.
Exactly.
Did that stand for anything other than
It's debated what that stands for, but so when I started hanging out with Jacob and Sean and that whole group of guys, it's probably like 12 dudes. I won't name them all one by one, but it was already a thing when I started hanging out with them, and they had already filmed 2 full-length videos that were probably an hour long, and they were just complete Jackass ripoffs, of skits and stunts.
I remember them bush diving.
Yeah, that was a big thing. Was shopping carts.
Yeah,
made famous by the CKY videos, Bam Margera's prank videos or Jackass style videos.
What was the one video the CKY dudes did? It was like a movie.
It was called Haggard.
Yeah,
and it was just a full scripted movie.
Yeah, it was hilarious.
Yeah, we used to watch that all the time.
It's one of the best. It's a classic. It's nuts.
And that was, for people who don't know, before Bam Margera and Ryan Dunn were in Jackass, they had their own crew of guys that would do pranks and stunts and stuff, and it was called CKY, which also is a post-rock band, I guess, more kind of punk. CKY, which stands for Camp Kill Yourself. I think, which is a pretty rad band back in the day.
Yeah, they got a couple jams.
Yeah,
have the Quite Things, Better Beans.
And 96 Quite Bitter Beans, man. The Tony Hawk Pro Skater Classic.
That's a good one. That reminds me of the Jackass episode where he puts on the pumpkin head and they're doing the shopping carts and stuff. So
that scene is actually from a CKY video.
Yeah, so I've seen the I think there's 3.
There's 4.
They did 4?
I think so.
I don't know if I saw the 4th one.
Yeah.
But there were also, a lot of people don't know this, is what was cool about Camp Kill Yourself videos is I would say 40% of it was actually skate video.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
It was a bunch of skits, gnarly skits.
Yeah.
Almost like not
stuff.
Not network, like, I don't know, I forget the word I'm looking for, but it was off network Jackass.
It was they were able to get away with more because they self-produced everything.
Yeah.
Like they were under no TV rules and regulations.
I forget the word I'm looking for, but yeah, it was
pretty buck wild for sure.
It was fun for a teenager for sure, especially like I think I first started seeing those when I was like 12 or 13 or something like that.
Yeah.
And that's a weird time to do that to a kid,
Well, yeah, it made me want to go jump off stuff and get into trouble.
Yeah, but you're kind of like, it was the only outlet where it seemed like, I don't know, it was the first time in my life where I was like, wait, there's people out there with the same kind of personality as me and they're not like trying to quell it,
Yeah, they're letting it out.
Yeah, they're letting it out. And then I think that's what was so attractive is, I heard an interesting quote the other day by more of an academic, and I'm going to paraphrase, but it was that the school system's main purpose is to build us into this containable order so that we're not, buck wild animals on the streets, which we really are, we forget, but we really are just mammals, made the same way every other mammal in nature is made, but we go to school and it kind of confines us. Don't go outside, like go to sleep after this certain amount of hours, eat this breakfast, like wake up this early, make your bed, blah blah blah. And it seemed like CKY was kind of the anti
it was
order.
animalistic.
And when you're 11, 12, or 13, and you are experienced to that, and you feel like, I don't know, you feel the weight of that structure trying to hold you down. You're like, fuck, man, I don't want to go to school. I just want to go fucking skate, and I want to go break shit. And then these guys are doing it, and not only that, they have a band. Dude,
they had it. One was Bam is the pro skater.
Who wasn't even a pro yet, just fucking skateboarding well.
So me and, obviously I met these guys through high school, Sean, Jacob, in this group, and they had already been doing it, and they're like, they introduced me to all that stuff, and I think I'd already seen Jackass on TV, and so they were like, let's do this, and I was in the 3rd video and the 4th video that we did for ADD, because I was the youngest one out of the group, and because I was the newest member of the group, I tried to do like the most hardcore shit, and I don't think I succeeded because I ended up not doing anything that hardcore. But I always felt like I needed to.
You got a water bottle right there, by the way.
I actually have my own too.
Okay,
I'm gonna take a swig.
Will you hand me mine?
Yeah,
and I can save you for a couple of seconds here.
Go ahead.
Real quick, I have to touch base on this because before I forget, but my favorite CKY member was definitely the dude who sings for the Mustard Man band, Brandon.
Yeah.
Brandon Gisha.
DiCamillo.
He's
ridiculous.
He's so funny to me. The war scene.
Yeah.
Where they like have the fucking stick guns and shit. It just... He was so funny.
Yeah, it's super surprising that he didn't get more of a. I mean, he was on BAM show on MTV with that whole crew, but he seemed like a guy that could hold court and like really get people's attention. And I think he has a lot of comedic ability, and I don't think he does anything anymore with it, but that dude is very funny. For sure.
Well, a couple of things. I think that eventually it starts hurting.
Yeah.
I remember I was super into skateboarding when I was younger. Really, really, really into it when I was doing stairs and shit when I was in middle school. And all of a sudden, man, that shit started hurting.
Yeah.
Differently. It started hurting differently. Like sprained ankles taking you out for like weeks and shit. And you're like, what the
When I think about the stuff I did while we were filming those videos, like I would jump off like really, really high buildings onto just the ground, and I like to. I mean, I didn't get hurt.
Have you jumped over two stories?
The highest I jumped off of a building was probably a little bit more than 2 stories.
Really?
And it was at you didn't go to MBMS, Manhattan Beach Middle School.
I'm familiar with the buildings.
So right in the entry to that complex, the main entry to the middle school, there's like a giant planter with like ice plants or whatever in it. And then to the right of it is a structure that is probably about 2.5 stories high. It's all outdoor. And I jumped off from the top of the structure into the planter. And it was the highest thing I had jumped off while we were filming. And it didn't hurt at all. But I look at that now, like I've seen it now, and I feel like my legs would just completely shatter if I jumped it now, And there's something to be said about being young and full of adrenaline that you just don't get hurt when you do stupid shit like that.
Yeah, man. Oh my goodness, bro.
Yeah, it was, and like I think the craziest thing I did was I had someone put a nail through my hand with a hammer.
Wait, you what? You got someone put a nail through your hand?
Yeah, through the fleshy bit, the webbing in between my thumb and my index finger, just in this.
No shit.
Yeah, I wanted someone to put a nail through something on my body because I thought it would be crazy to do.
Really?
And so I held a nail here, and someone, I don't know which one of my friends did it, but they hammered.
Isn't there a serious vein right there?
No, not right here.
Oh, it's so it's just in the little skin.
It's just skin. It's just skin.
Just in the little skin there.
It just went through like, and then I just pulled it out. And it honestly didn't even hurt that bad, but definitely not something I would even consider doing these days.
Wow, that's wild, man.
Yeah, the wild days, I guess.
You going back there?
No.
No, never again.
Maybe after I get married, then I'm free to do stupid shit. And
you don't have to press anybody anymore.
No.
You got a wedding coming up.
I do.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you.
It's getting any easier on you, or is it still
it's
the grind
hectic.
Continue?
Yeah, just planning. It's something that you don't expect. You think you propose, and then it's just like, all right, now we just hang out, and then one day we're married. We have the ceremony and all that. But it comes at you pretty quick. Financially, time, you got to spend a lot of time planning, and then you're shelling out a bunch of money if you want to have the wedding that you want to have. So
right,
it's expensive, but I'm excited. We're just a few months away, and then I'm going to Japan on the honeymoon, and then I'll be a married man.
What day are you? What day are you gonna be? What dates are you gonna be in Japan?
I'll be there from the 24th of September until the 10th of October.
This stream's going to miss you, man. Wait, 24th of
September to the 10th of October.
I might be in fucking Morocco.
Morocco? What's in Morocco?
Well,
besides Morocco?
I think Morocco. We're definitely going to Spain.
Really?
Yeah, definitely going to Spain. Kenzie likes to travel.
Yeah.
That's like what she's into. That's her verb. So I have to take mandatory time in order for her to feel one with herself. We got to go travel.
That's awesome.
It's awesome as fuck. I'm a fucking kook though, and I would chain myself to my office if I could. I'm just
Are you a workaholic?
You know, I'm going to give you the most workaholic answer in the world. Am I completely aware that I'm in control of all progress that comes to my life? Yeah, I'm aware of that. Yeah, dude. I feel like I can never. I feel like I have a hard time, and I'm way better at it now. I work on it all the time, but I think she said something. I try my best to keep up with myself, but yes, I have a tendency to get lost in my work. I just booked June today. Full booked. We're booked until July.
I love it.
Like, we're done. Yeah. We're good, and it's on to the next thing. Like, and I'm already thinking about art. I'm doing 18 interviews this month. 18.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and I had to limit days off next month. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday are going to be the only days I stream. So I'm trying to find balance, because I only have 24 hours a day. Unfortunately, I really do need about 7.5, 8 hours of sleep is what my body is telling me, which is unfortunate. I always thought that like I'd get to, once I found my passion in life, which is this, I thought my body would give up or let off on me a little bit and let me get away with like 6 hours a night, but it just is not the case. I'm fucking decrepit in the morning. And so, but yeah, man, here's the thing is I'm a workaholic only because I'm so excited about what this could be for, not only me, but people, the experiences that this could bring, the different ideas, the 3 mic idea I showed you, the connections we can make that are documented, that will exist forever, as technology is just being archived and archived and archived, bringing up memories from 5 years ago on Facebook and stuff. I mean, like, I don't know. I get excited at that chance. And me being a homebody doesn't hurt at all.
For sure.
Either, so... Yeah, workaholic's like a weird word. I think that I just get very passionate about the things that I'm passionate about.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, to me, workaholics are people who can't stop.
Yeah.
You can stop.
I can't. See, I don't know. See, I have a hard time enjoying it. See, I don't drink or anything anymore either. So it's not like I can. Fuck it. I'll say like everywhere I go, I'm sober. And I tend, and it's not healthy, but I tend to weigh out that time I'm having at that exact moment and question whether or not it's the most productive thing I could be doing at that time. Is that a workaholic?
That's for you to decide, my friend.
Yeah, no, dude, I don't know. There's some shit going on there, but I just fucking, I love this and I love doing this, but I don't know. I just get wrapped up in things that I really enjoy doing.
Yeah.
Workaholic is kind of weird because work itself is an ambiguous word. It doesn't mean anything. Work, like, what do you mean? Like, do I like to go shovel holes? Fuck no. Like, can I go design months ahead so that I have art to give out and I don't have to worry about it anymore and plan this next month's coming up so I don't have to worry about that? Like, yeah, dude, I fucking... So it's ambiguous,
Yeah, I see what you mean.
That answer is kind of subjective.
Yeah. I would say you're definitely dedicated to what you have going on right now.
I
wouldn't classify that as being a workaholic.
Yeah, I think that if I gave you enough tools and me and you sat here and kind of revamped the idea of memory cards and we came up with a schedule and like we could do this and that. Oh, you don't have a motherboard that will support this? Here, take this one, blah, 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 blah. And you got that fire under you again, I think that you would turn into a workaholic too.
For sure.
Mm-hmm. It's all just kind of subjective through what we're going through at that moment. you know?
Definitely.
I'll tell you what I'm not that fucking into right now, though.
Let's hear it.
Dun 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 dun. What happened?
Dude.
What the fuck happened? I don't even know your opinion on this.
It hurts, man.
Are you
hurt.
Are you a fond of what's going on here?
No.
Are you a fond? Are you the Fonz?
I'm the Fonz of what's going on here.
Where did they go wrong? I'll tell you exactly where they went wrong. Me and you sat here and said that this show is no longer about the Iron Throne. This show is about what the Night King and Bran mean to existence. Not the Starks, not the wildlings, not the old men, not the children of the forest, maybe children of the forest, but what does this mean? Is the Night King God? Is, I was reading up things that like Bran is the Lord of Light, and the Night King was the anti-Lord of Light. Man, and it almost seems like they just wrote this on a yacht with a cigar hanging out of their mouth, with blow in their nose, and they're just not giving a fuck. On to the next one, man.
What a fall from grace, man.
It's crazy.
Like, in just the span of a couple episodes, those two writers went from being hailed as, like, two of the best television writers of all time to being pretty much universally reviled by everyone. And, like, no one was happy with what's going on. I mean, there are, people who are like, oh, this isn't so bad.
The Kool-Aid drinkers, dude. I can't stand that shit. I just want to be like, I like start a stay woke movement.
I know.
Like, what do you mean this show's good?
Yeah. Well, okay. So going back to our very long conversation.
Yeah.
That turned out to be longer than the whole long night itself.
Yes.
Our conversation about what was going to happen was literally longer than the Battle of Winterfell. How does that sound?
It was crazy. I posted a status it's crazier that the Midwest had a deadlier winter than Winterfell this year.
That's not even a false statement.
No,
I
was being observant.
Yeah.
That's all that was.
Yeah.
Wasn't trying to make a snide remark about the show.
Our theory that our amazing theory. Well, you get some credit too. But
I brought the tools.
Yeah, you helped me work it out.
Yeah.
And was completely wrong.
So wrong.
Super wrong.
But due to laziness, not, I hate hearing that we were wrong.
Yeah.
If the Night King could be fucking Bran. We don't know. Neither of them are in the show anymore. It's crazy, man.
There's just so much that's happened in the last couple episodes that you could just poke so many holes in, or you can. It's just baffling, Like, if we look at the stuff we talked about, what we believed was going to happen with the battles to come. We knew that it was only going to be a 6-episode season finale this last season, and while. In hindsight, you would think, okay, yes, that seems too short to wrap up something on the scale of Game of Thrones. You would initially have hope that because of what these writers have been able to do so far, that they would be able to work it out in a way that makes sense and leaves everyone on a note that, while you may not get the ending that you want, you may be happy with with how it's wrapped up. And that was very naive thinking for everyone, because it just turned out that it just seems like lazy writing, and it just seems like Benioff and Weiss or whatever their names are, David Benioff and D.B. Weiss are the two writers. It just seems like they wanted to walk away from the show, maybe, or they wanted to just end it, and took the silliest and easiest way out, because they wrote themselves into a corner and just dug a hole and one that makes no sense. Like, there's so many things, and it's a lot to keep up with too. As I'm sure that you've tried as well as I have, just to see what people's reactions are to what's happened. And it's like,
I try to hop on Reddit after every episode, and it seems like there's a group there's the Kool-Aid drinkers, the non-wokers, who think that this is all fucking fine and dandy. Stand fucking up for yourself. There was a 2-year wait for gosh darn what? Number one, there's so many why moments. Like, why did I even care about Brienne Tarth and Jaime Lannister's relationship? Why? Like, what? Like, why?
For 20 minutes, they had that actual relationship,
and it was weird.
Yeah,
and it was like a weird thing that we didn't even ask for. We were kind of like, oh, okay, I guess it's gonna happen. I definitely would have taken the friend zone,
right?
And it would have been okay by me.
Yeah,
but it was like no one, like at the Battle of Winterfell, I don't even think there was any like crucial moments. You gave the kill to Arya. I mean, I get it, but Arya is not a god killer. She's an assassin. You know, she creeps up. She kills Cersei Lannister with Jaime's face. You know, she does that kind of shit. Bran was the only character with the caliber. Don't give me. Me say this to you again is almost frustrating in itself. But the Children of the Forest conducting, Jon cutting himself, bleeding Targaryen blood mixed with Stark blood on a fucking ancient book written by the first Stark or something to warg into fucking the Night King's mind, and then finding out it's Bran through a reflection in a pool by the Tree of Life or some shit, man. Come on. You could do that in 15 minutes, cut corners a little bit, but you could still get it done.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it could have been Bran killing himself. What if Bran kills himself and then there's just like moment, Bran dies and shatters the ice. Then it's like, what just happened? There could have been a million fucking things there. You know, imagine seeing Bran shatter to ice after stabbing himself. You would have been like,
what the fuck?
Everyone would have been like, and you wouldn't even had to have explained it.
Yeah.
You could have just let that happen, open for interpretation, and just move that bitch on. Anything could have happened. Fucking Bronn could have shot Tyrion right there in that meeting. Boom. Arya comes in, takes fucking Tyrion's face or something.
I was expecting when Bronn showed up in that episode that he was going to kill...
Arya is the hardest fool. They're doing a prequel of how the White Walker story, 5,000 years. Oh, wait another 5,000 fucking years for another... It took them 2 years to write 6 episodes. I'm not waiting anymore. By the time this shit's happened, we're going to have jetpacks and phones that pop up magically on our fucking hands. I'm not waiting for another story. They blew it, dude.
Yeah.
They blew it.
Well,
what were you saying? Sorry. There's
so much disappointment at this point that I'm like bummed to even see the last episode because I know it's not going to be what I want it to be. And I've invested a lot of fucking time into this show,
Yeah.
And
you read the books, bro.
Yeah.
I bought the first book on Audible. Game of Thrones is the first book. 36 hours.
It's fucking long.
Yeah, it's fucking long. You've spent a lot of time, and the book fans don't even have an ending to that story.
No.
There's just nothing for anybody.
Yeah.
This is the biggest fuck pile in the history of storytelling ever.
I kind of imagine this is what people watching the Sopranos season finale when that was a huge deal. Because do you know how the Sopranos ends?
I didn't catch that.
Okay, so we all know that Sopranos is like it's a huge deal. It's on a similar level to Game of Thrones. It was an HBO series.
I remember it being
that
a
people
big
fully
deal.
bought into, and it went on for I think 8 or 9 seasons, right? And the very last episode of Sopranos, the season finale.
Are you gonna fucking spoiler alert?
Do you care?
This is like a 3-decade-old.
Yeah, I don't think anyone fucking cares at this point,
dude. There's people younger than the Sopranos now who exist.
Straight up. And so the last episode of The Sopranos has Tony Soprano and his family in a diner, and there's this tension that something's about to happen, right? You don't know what's going to happen. There's Tony's looking around, and there's kind of suspicious activity in the diner. He's getting suspicious of certain people, And there's a a moment where someone is walking towards his family, and then it just cuts, just goes to black. That's it. And people, when it first aired, thought that their like television died or like the cable went out or something, because it just goes, cuts to black, and I think the credits roll, and that's it. And they chose, like the writers of the show chose to leave the ending just ambiguous, like you don't know what's happening. Something's happening or nothing's happening.
Leave the series.
Yeah, just walk away from the show on a note of darkness, of nothing. And people were outraged.
Who fucking let that walk away from the writing table?
That's what it was.
Oh, my goodness.
So I feel like we're headed towards something like that. I already kind of feel like that's what's happened. And
yeah, it's an hour and a half, this next episode?
Yeah, so it's going to be a long one. I think the longest one.
Oh, really? So maybe 2 hours or something?
I don't know if it's going to be that long, but
these have been an hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah. Maybe this one's an hour 20, hour 30 or something, but
what's even left in the story?
Well,
John running, getting Gendry to put on his fucking running shoes again and running back to the north for help.
Yeah. King's Landing's destroyed. Daenerys went full crazy mode. Mad Queen burned everything and everyone.
By the way, we don't even get to enjoy a show with her being Mad Queen. That would have been fun.
Like, yeah, if they would have even went like 3 seasons ago and just had her turn then. Yeah, it would have made more sense than just this sudden change. And I get like why they wanted to change her, right? But the thing that's the most disappointing to me so far is that we've had all of these storylines and all of these moments that have given us like certain admiration or respect or hatred or a lot of emotions for certain characters, right? And we know that through storytelling and through books and TV and media or whatever, that there may be sudden character developments that you're not a fan of, right? Your favorite character in a TV show might one day turn out to be evil. That's just how people like to write things, and it works and it doesn't work. And for them to turn Daenerys this quick in like the span of 2 or 3 episodes, at least it feels like it's only been 2 or 3 episodes. There's hints and prophecies that allude to her resulting to fire in the end to defeat her enemies, like as she did, and just go crazy. But
quote unquote Mad Queen,
the Mad Queen, right? Just like her father, the Mad King before her.
But is Mad Queen? Is this fueled by just kind of, what is it, like like was this genetically inherited, this tendency to be the Mad Queen, or is this her last hurrah because her whole life's work has been impeded by the revelation that Jon Snow is a Targaryen.
Right.
So, and that's even, that's what's so sad is, I mean, that's even, so even when it's, Daenerys is Mad Queen, it's even fair to still be like, yeah, but why? Right. Like, why? Like, is it a personal thing about Jon Snow? Because I thought we just saw her making out with Jon Snow. Like, seriously, 20 minutes. Like, in the beginning of that episode, Jon Snow, I love you. I don't want it. And now all of a sudden she doesn't care. She's burning down the city. Like, it's just, there's no win for her to burn down the city.
Yeah.
Like, there's no gain out of that. She came with the fire. They dropped weapons. The Iron Throne was hers. Like,
that was it. She won.
She won. So it's kind of like when she went Mad Queen, it was kind of a dumb depiction of it because, there was not really any tension built up. Looks like Jon Snow would have just gave her the fucking thing anyways. Varys tried to poison her, but Varys was cooked.
Yeah.
And so there was no real resistance. The only problem was like, hey, I don't want all these innocent people to die. And it's like, okay. And that chance was there. And then Daenerys was like, what do I do now, DB Wise? Oh, Mad Queen. Okay. Flip the switch.
Right.
It was
Hit
just
that
weird,
switch, baby.
It was just fucking weird.
So
Rip Gendry after Arya friend zones, and I know she was gonna go Mad Queen, which leads to John's gonna be the queen in more than one way, if you know what I mean. Good job, Dre. The people of King's Landing would never serve under her. They didn't love her. They only feared her. But why would the people of King's Landing fight under Jon Snow?
I at this point, no one likes Cersei anyway.
Under that ideology, like they didn't love her. That was for the northern folk,
right?
And
so I read this article. My fiance sent this to me today. It's a really good article. I think it was Deadspin. Put this up about how they could have reached the same Mad Queen ending in a way that actually makes sense. And this is how they imagined it should have been rewritten.
Hit me.
So we know before the siege of King's Landing and the Battle of King's Landing that Rhaegal, one of Daenerys' dragons, is somehow killed by Euron, who had been hiding with his Iron Fleet at Dragonstone, waiting for Daenerys to show up.
Yeah.
Which it doesn't make any sense. It's lazy writing. Everyone agrees. That makes no sense. It's stupid. So a way for them to have reworked this to actually make sense would be that doesn't happen, that Euron is not ever at Dragonstone and kills Rhaegal, that instead he's just camped out at King's Landing like he would have been anyway, waiting for the war to come and siege. And Daenerys and Jon are on their dragons. Jon's on Rhaegal. Daenerys is on Drogon. The battle essentially happens the same way. Missandei is still beheaded by the mountain. The dragons still lay waste to everything, as they should. Ships, Iron Fleet, destroyed. All around King's Landing gets fucked up. All the scorpions, all that shit's done. And then the bells of surrender start, like as they do in the show. And at that moment, what actually happens in the show is that it causes Dany to fucking lose it. And she just blows everything up again with her fire, kills all the civilians. So what should have happened instead is that while the bells of surrender are ringing, Daenerys and Jon come to a stop on their dragons. Maybe they're floating or they land in the air or land on a building or something. And they're sharing a moment where they're looking at each other like, okay, we've won. We've taken King's Landing. They're surrendering. What do we do now? And they're maybe locked in a eye-to-eye moment. And it's at that moment a scorpion, those giant fucking archery, what are they called? Crossbow-looking things. It's at that moment that because Jon had stopped flying with Rhaegal, he had, landed somewhere, that's the moment Rhaegal gets killed through the neck, through the head, or whatever. And that is the moment that Daenerys is like, that's it. Like, I'm done. You're toast.
Because she had lost something.
Yeah. And so instead of just hearing these bells and then deciding, okay, well,
which doesn't make any fucking sense.
Yeah. And
she experiences loss for the last time.
Sees Jon and Rhaegal fall. Maybe she thinks Jon's dead. Right. Maybe she thinks, okay, well, Jon was the guy who was one of the last people that I had that was going to fight for me. He said he was going to fight for me, and she loved him. I mean, Jon and Dany like love each other. There's no question about that. So maybe, that's the moment. Maybe Daenerys sees Jon and Rhaegal fall after the dragon is killed, and she believes them to be dead. Maybe they are dead. Maybe just the dragon's dead.
And then loses it.
And then she goes fucking nuts after that. And that's believable to me.
Because it's almost passion-driven, and it's more human.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just a cop-out. It's just, yeah. No, I'm buying that. You're able to understand the psychology behind it, and I think something that we're dealing with as viewers of the show is we're having a hard time putting ourselves in these shoes because these shoes seem super unpredictable and unreasonable. Like the Nightwalker, the Battle of Winterfell, dude. take fucking notes from Two Towers. Dude,
Right.
Everybody get up on that fucking wall with the biggest gun you got and get fucking firing.
Like, why is anyone even outside of the castle?
Yeah,
like,
and they had the catapults outside of the castle. It's
Yeah.
like every form of fucking assault should have been happening over the walls into or outside of the castle. Like, so catapults in the castle firing projectiles out of the castle into the groups of people. It was just so weird. It almost seems like the 2 years was almost like a panic. I saw an interview with Kit Harington where he comments on the end of the show, and his first thing is disappointing.
Yeah, I saw that.
Did you see that? And then he was like, "No, it's good. It's gonna be
good. Yeah,
it's gonna be epic," or whatever one of those words.
I think
Keep
the
talking
entire
to the camera. I'm getting the coffee pot.
I think based on a lot of the cast reaction, that no one is really happy. Especially the cast, with the way things ended up. And
how long has this show been on?
The show's been on, God, since 2012, maybe. I started watching at the 4th season, and I hadn't read the books at that point. And I jammed through the first 3 seasons in order to watch the 4th. And then it was after the 4th season ended that I read all the books in between the 4th and the 5th season.
Are you exclusively a fan of Game of Thrones, or do you enjoy other TV series as well? Were you a Breaking Bad fan?
Huge.
Loved
it. Yeah.
That's turning out to be a stronger show in its consistency in artistic writing than Game of Thrones has proven to be. And I don't think that they had the budget. I don't think they needed it because you're shooting it in Albuquerque, in a fucking RV.
Yeah.
But
and Breaking Bad even did a similar thing in which they cut the last season in half and shortened it, like they did with Game of Thrones, where they just have a shortened season. And I think the last 2 Breaking Bad seasons were only 7 episodes each or something. Instead of the normal. And 10
but having Jesse locked in that fucking hole. Remember, he was stuck in that hole, and it kind of came full circle with that blonde kid who's the shitty kid from Like Mike.
Yeah.
Who's keeping him
Was
down
he really
there.
in Like Mike?
Yeah, he was the bully in Like Mike. Yeah, I was super into that show. And then what's another show I couldn't get enough of? Shit. There's got to be something else. First season of Better Call Saul I really enjoyed. What are other great TV series? I never got into Lost.
Lost was heavy.
Dude,
I
Walking Dead gave up on season 5, I think.
Oh, so you actually went a little deep on that one.
Dude, there was a series, and anybody watching can relate to this. There was a series where Negan, the character Negan, is infiltrating the camp that they're staying at. It's kind of like this suburb with this walled suburb, and he's just pushing Rick around for 9 episodes, and it was just so stupid. And you see the same look on Rick's face every episode. I don't know. I mean, it's hard to explain the momentum you lose in a TV show when it loses momentum, but it's not there anymore.
I couldn't even get through the first season of that show.
Oh, really?
I thought it was super boring.
Oh, wow.
And I like zombie stuff most of the time, but it just wasn't for me. But
there are some other shows out there. I can't put my finger on them, but yeah.
This one hurts, man. It really does. I don't know. It's just I have these last couple episodes have just been a drain to watch, mentally, emotionally, and I make it sound so severe, I'm fucking actually dying watching this.
Isn't
shit,
it though?
It's just
you're an invested fan. It's been almost a decade of your life invested.
It's been years, and it's actually. So I've been watching it as long as I've been together with my fiance, and it's a very important thing for us. It's our ritualistic
something you guys share together.
Yeah. And for it to end this way, I mean, that's pretty much all we've been talking about now for the past couple weeks. And she's as disappointed as I am. So we've been living under a bit of a rain cloud lately.
Yeah.
Dealing with this fucking nightmare of a show ending.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I tried to piece together like things that I would want to. I wished they would have done differently, and like my ideal ending for the show, and it's hard to do that because I both have a connection to the show and to the books, and the books are very different than the show, and so my ending for the books would be different than it would be for the show. For sure. And I mean, what do you how would you want this to end? Like if they hadn't. Like, say, from the Battle of Winterfell, from that point on, like, what would be your
I could tell you
step by step?
So they lose the Battle of Winterfell.
Okay.
We see the headless Stark, Ned Stark. We see, I don't know. The battle is, I forget exactly. I mean, because it wasn't written, right? So there's going to be holes in my story. Yeah. Anyways, you fill it in. They retreat on the door of King's Landing, begging to let them in. You don't understand. Death is coming. And Cersei's, no, I'm the queen. And all of a sudden, she says something, and she looks at her hand, and a piece of snow lands on her wrist.
Yeah.
And she's like, and looks up, and snow begins to fall in King's Landing.
That's
end of
perfect.
episode.
Yeah.
End of episode. Next episode, it starts off with this whole. Now you have this powder keg, which is King's Landing, and the what's the word I'm looking for? Like it's coming. There's nothing inevitable. Fucking butt.
You got it.
Yeah, the inevitable fucking flow of death on its way at a sprinting speed, right?
Non-stop.
And even before this, I wish that characters pieced off. You know, Arya and Gendry are starving in some fucking hut somewhere, freezing, and it's just like constant. You're never safe, and it's just as soon as you're found again, you're dipping south. You know, you're going south. South is you keep going south, and it's like even when they try to stop and rest, they're constantly, and this is like a 40-minute long depiction from different things of them just tired and they're falling asleep on horseback. Like winter has come, dude, and it's fucking draining energy out of people. People are just like stopping and turning and letting death just consume them because they are tired of running. You get the apocalyptic from the zombie movies, like this life isn't a life worth living. You know, just getting and characters begging each other to keep fighting. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, anything. You know what I'm saying?
I like that way better. I mean, I definitely think that Winterfell, it should have ended in a defeat. Should have ended in defeat for the people who were fending there.
Right.
Like the whole group, I think that it should have been overrun, and I think you're right. I think it should have moved south. Because otherwise, how are people from the south going to realize what was coming?
Right.
They won't. They'll always think that it's just some northern story. I mean, the battle ended in the north, and that's where that legend and that lore is only going to exist in. I mean, no one's ever going to believe the legend of the Battle of Winterfell, the Long Night. It's just not going to happen.
It's just silly. And what if? I mean, there's so many things you can do, and this is just me entertaining the brain on an artistic, or me. I don't even realize what I just said. This is me critiquing the show on an artistic level.
Yeah.
But what if? So the next episode, right? The intro is the intro. What if there's no music and everything's covered in snow? And it's
Sick.
the intro of the show and there's no music. Maybe like one fucking violin playing it. And like winter is like blow it the fuck up. Your house sigil is this moment.
Yeah.
You know, you've been like literally thousands of years to come to this moment. You know what I'm saying? And I just, it would have been so cool to shots of Arya and the Hound fucking pounding on their horses, riding south, and they're looking to the right of them. They're riding along a river, and the river's literally freezing as they're like running, and it's just black behind them, and it could have been anything. And from there, then it's a 2 on. Then we explore the options. We handle that shit first. Anything happens. Maybe this shit changes Cersei. Maybe like now some people are really sacrificed to this fucking thing, because the ocean is freezing fucking over, and like fucking monumental situations. Fucking the boats can't move because they're frozen solid into the ocean, like biblical proportions. Things are going on. The sun fucking is covered in clouds. It's night for it's week. What if it doesn't stop? The sun never comes up again.
It's supposed to be days of darkness.
Yeah, I mean, like it just
weeks of darkness.
It's just the problem is we just as viewers we experience no severity. We no urgency, no severity. Just seemed like some big fucking thing, dude. I was left more like at Hardhome when Jon Snow is fucking floating off in his raft and the Night King is pretty much just like points at him and is like, "I'm coming, motherfucker." That was more heavy to me than this.
Yes,
it was just I don't know, but we did get a good amount of violence.
Oh, incredible! Like insane violence in this last episode.
Yeah,
like a little bit over the top actually.
Grey Worm killed somebody for once. It was just silly, and to see people fight. There was like a moment where Jon Snow was fighting where I was like, can Jon Snow fight?
Yeah.
Like kind of forgot, was like had to dig back into the story. Was like, is he kind of a warrior? Because like even in the Battle for Winterfell, he gets that moment. Like, throw your fucking sword or something, dude. Do something fucking nifty.
Yeah.
He's just sprinting, and then all of a sudden the zombies are there, and he can fight his way out of a 300 zombie situation. It just was weird, man. It just was really weird. And Bran is just not even in the story. Theon, like, died for what? Like, it was just really weird. And Theon had to die. Like, I understand, like, this is a good way to get Theon out of it. But, I don't know. It's just a lot of fucking...
So that there's been spoilers. Like, essentially the entire summary of the final episode is out. Like, you can just go read it if you want.
Really?
Yeah.
How'd that get out? How'd they fuck that up?
So I read an article prior to last week's episode, prior to episode 4, that was it was this article that detailed.
By the way, spoiler alerts if you're because this will be uploaded to YouTube tonight. So turn back.
Too late, actually.
Too late.
You're fucked.
Yeah, you're fucked.
But
well, no spoilers for how you don't want to know how the story ends.
Right.
So that's right. Kenzie, plug your ears too.
Well, I'm not gonna. I mean, I don't really know.
Okay, but let's talk about how you found the article.
Yeah. So this article came out about a Reddit post on one of the fan Reddit boards for Game of Thrones. It's called Free Folk.
Mm-hmm.
Have you been there?
Yeah.
So they have a thread there that's been pinned as a pinned thread for a few months. I think it's been up there for like 7 or 8 months, and it's a entire thread of spoilers for this final season. And I believe most of the spoilers are sourced from someone who worked on the show, but in a very low position, like someone
QAnon.
Yeah, very like someone who was on the set as like construction or something. And so who witnessed the filming of scenes.
What a dick.
I mean, what does he have to gain from doing this? I don't know. It's all anonymous. I mean, so
mad Reddit points.
Reddit points, baby.
Yeah.
Karma.
Yeah.
So,
do they have karma in Reddit? I thought it was an Imgur thing. Imgur is big on the karma.
It's karma.
I think Reddit and Imgur are they coexist, dude. That fucking chair is gonna kill some.
Get me one day.
Yeah,
it's the second time this fucking.
That chair is proven to be more dangerous than the long night.
Yeah. So someone who worked on the set, I believe at least that's what it is. posted breakdowns of every episode, pretty much, of like here's what I think is gonna happen. It's not exact, I saw like the basic filming of the scenes. I saw like pyrotechnic work and stuff. So but this is what I know, and these spoilers are pretty much 90% accurate. There are some scenes that aren't there, but all the scenes that he mentioned, or this person, I don't know if it's a woman or a man, got a lot of it right, essentially. And I went and after I watched episode 4, I went and looked at the episode 4 spoilers that had been there for months, and it was like, you might as well read the fucking Wikipedia.
It was like Spark
that
Notes.
Accurate, dude.
Oh wow!
And right there was the spoilers for the last 2 episodes, and I was like, do I do it?
Did you do it?
I didn't do it.
Okay, good for you.
But I went back again after Sunday night's episode, and I looked at the spoilers for episode 5 again, pretty much dead on. Like, a couple scenes were a little mixed, but pretty much all of the major points, with Daenerys breaking at the sound of the bells, with her destroying King's Landing, Cersei and Jaime dying together in the crypt, or whatever it was.
With both hands.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
See what?
Jaime Lannister's hands?
Was he not wearing his golden hand?
No.
He had both hands showing?
He had both hands.
No, dude.
Yes. Yes.
I didn't notice that.
Dude, hold on. This is why we do this shit. I'm pulling this shit up. Look at this.
That hurts.
So, did you read the...
No, I have not read the spoilers for the final episode, but they're there. If anyone wants to go read them, just go to Reddit and go to the Free Folk message board, or the Reddit board for Free Folk, and you can read the spoilers for the final episode. See how the show ends.
Check this shit out, yo. Oh, hold on.
Got some pictures of some...
Hold on here. Well, I guess this is...
That was... What? Must be some... Oh, there it is. It's in the bottom left. Got a little red circle there.
I'm gonna pump up the volume on this one. Yep.
There you go.
There you go. Shout out Matt Cuddy. Thank you for thanks for this, bud. Yeah, it just kind of seems like, and I'm not like, I understand that the Starbucks cup and stuff is, and even that, like, I get it. It's just kind of just blunders. My issue is with.
But when has that happened before in the history of Game of Thrones?
I think that we were. Was it possible that we were all under the spell before? Maybe. Where we
weren't looking at every little detail.
We weren't looking because what is Arya the Faceless Man? Where we constantly, which is a whole nother. Do you remember those days? Do you remember the days of Dragonfire, and the High Septum, and
the easy days?
The all for nothing days.
Yeah.
The easy days. Yeah, man. But it's okay. I'm not interested in a show 5,000 years before right now. I don't know. This one fucked me up, man. This one fucked me up. I spent a lot of time advocating the origin of the Night King. You know
what's funny is this is really random memory, but so back when I first started getting into the show, I was still catching up, right? And so I would try to avoid spoilers for things that I wasn't ready to see. And I think it must have been Facebook, because I didn't use Twitter back then. But we've been friends on Facebook for I don't even know fucking how long. But you had posted a Facebook status when the mountain smashes the Dornish dude's head.
Yeah.
And you had posted a status about that battle, about how the mountain fucking smashed his head or something, or
spoiler
popped
alert.
His head. Yeah, super spoiler alert for something that happened many years ago. But I was like mad because I didn't know that was gonna happen.
Really?
And I was like, God damn it, Drew.
I'm sorry, man.
It was years ago. But I thought about it the other day.
Really?
Because I remember it made me laugh though what you said. It was like,
I was probably just trying to be silly.
Yeah, it was definitely silly.
I say a lot of silly stuff. I made the effort to learn everybody's name in this past 2 seasons, I was almost like, okay, Missandei, Melisandre, like learn the names. I don't know, it's Melisandre, right? Or Melisandre.
Melisandre, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. So, yeah, man, we're at a close here, and that's that. I feel silly, because it's really pulled out an ugly side of me how this is concluded. It's really like a really kind of apocalyptic. I don't know. I have friends. I'm responding to friends texting, especially if somebody picks on me like, yeah, so Bran's the Night King, huh, man? And then shoots me a GIF. I'm like blocked. I will block this number, sir, forever. Because I don't know, man. It was just like, how am I gonna fucking write the show better than you idiots?
Yeah.
That's
You should have hired us.
Yeah,
Final
for sure.
season.
Yeah, one day, dude. We're gonna keep this fucking. We're young in the scheme of things. Imagine 33. We're gonna be coming up with some gold. We're gonna reach out to people. I'm gonna tag Kit Harington.
HBO on the line.
Yeah, and fucking
We're in.
on a business call. Be like, yeah, you guys starting that 5,000 songs of spring yet?
Let's get a redo.
Yeah, let's get a fucking redo, dude.
Mulligan.
It's crazy to think that in 25 years, they might redo this. They're doing Dora the Explorer live action.
Day one.
It's crazy.
I'll be there.
Camping out as Boots.
Well, so George R. R. Martin, I check in with that dude every now and then because I'm like, I want to know when those next books are coming.
Check his Twitter. Or
he has a personal blog.
I like that you check in with him.
Well,
I hit him. Hey, Georgie, what's going on, brother?
Hey, bro, let me get that update.
Yeah.
He has it's not like Tumblr or anything, but he has his own website where he just writes updates about what he's doing, what he's up to. And I go there every now and then to see if there's an update on how the books are coming. Because he's been writing the next book, which is called The Winds of Winter, for a long time now. And there was a lot of speculation from fans that after these last few episodes, and especially what's going on with this final season, that either HBO or the writers or someone had asked Martin to hold the books back because for whatever reason they wanted to finish up the series before he released his next book, and he went out to say that wasn't true on his website. But and I posted this on Twitter the other day. It's like, man, if I was George R. R. Martin, I would have just fucking waited until he knew it was going to end. Like wait until it ends and see what people think about how they did it, and then just do the opposite.
Right.
And I mean, I don't think he actually did that, but if he did, it would make sense to me because now he knows. Don't do what just happened.
Right, with the book.
To your books, do something different.
Do people not forget though? Because I feel like a lot of people. I bought the book because of the show.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Is it going to be easy to feel that sign of relief when it works out differently? Or is it kind of like, no, man, like the damage has been done. Dude, they fucked the show up. I know what the characters look like. You heard the lines. I think it's important for the books to come out before the show because the show indulges more senses than the reading does.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? I think that the reading, literature wields more imagination to the process. However, I feel like you indulge more senses when you're watching the show. You can see the colors, you're hearing the characters.
Yeah.
When you tell me Arya Stark, it's hard for me not to imagine whatever that fucking chick's name, whatever that actress's name, that is Arya Stark to me now. You know what I'm saying? And it would be tough for me to rewrite that character. George R. R. Martin fucked it up. He should have got this shit. We could have waited.
Wrapped it up.
Well, we could have, we wouldn't have even known better had you just finished the fucking books and then started the show, and there was an end of the Harry Potter, the books got finished. And there's always going to be people that are like, this isn't how it happened in the book. But I mean, that shit is inevitable. And I think that before people are able to make, I think when people read books, they're able to depict what's happening. I think the imagery still happens, but it's to yourself. It's like, I don't know if it was you I was talking to about, but it's like music for me. It's like when I watch music videos after enjoying a song for a long time, and I'll watch the music video and I'll be frustrated because I'm like, you motherfuckers.
Yeah, what
this
happened?
This doesn't mean that. This isn't what the song means to me. You
Right.
fuckhead. Who's this guy?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? What's he doing? Why is he climbing out of windows and shit? This isn't what the song's about to me. I think that's the same, but you gotta win that race. You know what I'm saying? Had I seen the music video first and then heard that song, the song will always be the music video to me because I've already indulged those senses. I've already engaged those senses.
Oh, for sure.
With that piece. And I think that's, I think that you wield the power to do it, but I think that it's going to be hard for them to come back from this.
Well, I mean, I started reading the books after I watched the first few seasons of the show. So when I read them and I visualized the characters, as you say, I visualized them as the actors and actresses who I'd seen already portray them.
Right.
And that's just, it's inescapable.
Yeah, like the Brianna Tarth, when you had elaborated that she goes off and there's a subsection of the book where
it's great.
She's out running her own fucking, Brienne's world where she's fighting crime and kicking ass, taking names. Like, you still imagined blonde, slick-haired back, tall ass, that actress as the chick in the book, and that could be fun, but I don't know, man. I'm pessimistic and I don't like it. I like this. I want this to be done with, man, because I'm ready to like shit again, but this is just, proven to be, dude, we're nerds, and like this calls to a certain side of us. We have the imaginations. We're like, we get fucking amped about fucking dragons and like lore and shit, but there's none of it. It's just like some, it's just some surface level, whatever,
I'm not even going to be around like this Sunday when the final episode hits. I'll be at Cirque du Soleil, my friend.
Whoa, really?
Yeah. I don't know what much more than that. I just know I'm going to Cirque du Soleil with some family.
There you go. Good for you. Are you a Skyrim fan?
The game?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah, dude.
Played
like
that
Elder
shit out of that
Elder
game.
Scrolls is like what this generation is raised off of, sir.
Yeah.
We're gonna need some death. E3, is that the name of it?
E3.
E3.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did that new Elder Scrolls little teaser.
Oh, the tease last year.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
I'm excited to get that cracking. I hope it's not some like multi MMO.
No.
I think it will be like a solid single player game.
God,
That's what
I
we
hope
need.
So. Man, we need it so bad because Bethesda, the developer of the Elder Scrolls games and the Fallout series, they have been fucking up lately.
They have.
Fallout 76 was terrible.
Well, they're trying to appease to this. I mean, don't fix what ain't broken, man. I mean, like, stop trying to make a fucking game that not everybody wants to play with everybody. I miss the old school one players,
Yeah.
Red Dead Redemption made record numbers and nobody bought it for the fucking multiplayer. We bought it because we knew Rockstar pumps out solid one-player games, dude. We knew that there was going to be scenes. I mean, for fuck's sake, dude, Grand Theft Auto. Okay, I'll give you an example. We knew Red Dead Redemption 2 was going to be sick because Grand Theft Auto 5, when you're fucking flying a helicopter as Franklin and you call the fucking... the fucking rich dude to snipe somebody, and then you switch back to Trevor, who's got a fucking, who's raping some guy. Like it's just like it's madness. So when Red Dead 2 came out, we knew the caliber of single player game.
Yeah,
because you can't do that kind of shit, multiplayer. And even Fallout 4 was, I loved it.
Yeah, it's great.
Kenzie played it. Kenzie beat it. Kenzie, she loves video games, so. 76 was, I think, like, did memory cards cover it? Like breaking records for some of the worst game ever, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. So I bought it, and which was a mistake. I shouldn't have paid any money for that game.
Did you see the fucking the hard? And I'm sorry here, but I gotta say this before I interrupt. But it was like Fallout 76 releases cheat on how to get some of your money back or something like that. It's so funny, dude.
Yeah.
All right.
See, yeah, no, that it's just it was a broken game at launch. It didn't function very well. It was full of bugs, and it generally felt very clunky and very slow, and just not. It wasn't fun to play. And then what occurred over the next few months was just bad press for Bethesda back to back to back. You know, like there's actually a great video on it from a YouTube channel called Internet Historian, where this one guy just discusses at length various incidents that have happened, not strictly video gaming, but just all kinds of different stuff. And he just had a video come out a couple weeks ago about Fallout 76, and it discusses every single move that Bethesda made that just fucked up, like their whole reputation, essentially.
Have they only fucked up since Fallout 76, or was the fucking up?
It really started actually around Fallout 4. Like, I think a lot of people were disappointed with that game, which, I can see some of that and agree with some of that, but generally I thought Fallout 4 was a pretty good game.
Fallout 4 did what it was supposed to do.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, it was exactly what I wanted it to be.
It was a more expansive Fallout 3 with the free roam that Bethesda almost specializes in, the multi-story line. Yeah. The free roam where it's just stories on stories and with good graphics. I think as Bethesda games we experience, what Bethesda doesn't understand is I think they keep trying to change their frame, but it's just kind of like, listen, man, keep doing what you're doing. The expansive one-player modes with, quest on quest that branch into quest. Just keep doing that. Keep making sure the graphics fucking rule. Put intriguing characters in your story and send it out.
That's it.
It's
a formula that works.
It's easy, and it's fucking Skyrim and Fallout 4 are almost identical in their framework. Like they are, like aside from changing the font, the outfits, the music, and like obviously the characters you interact with. It's essentially the same fucking game, but you play them like they're two of the. Well, I'd like to believe Fallout is one of the biggest titles in video game.
Sure,
but they play almost exactly the same. Go get this shit. Go get 5 of these fucking things. Come back here. It's just it's really strange that they're like, okay, how can we change this to make this more immersive, but in doing so they just end up sabotaging their.
Have you ever thought how similar Skyrim is to Game of Thrones, like in structure and story? I mean, you play as a character who's the Dragonborn, and the whole story is focused on a war between the North and the South.
Yeah, it's the Imperials and the Nords.
Yeah. They share. I mean, it's clear. I think there was some influence there, but when
different
it comes
sects
to
shit.
When it comes to like storytelling for fantasy or medieval stuff like that, I guess there's only so many paths you can go down.
Yeah,
and the North and the South at war thing is the one that they chose, and it works for sure.
Well, the story of Skyrim is that the lords of the Nords are, and almost the colors are almost the same. Like Imperial is red, but they have marched up south into Skyrim, or marched up north into Skyrim, and is declaring rule from
I forget the
name of the city, but
it's called Winterfell. Winterfell. No,
Winterhold.
not Winterhold.
Winterhold. That's not. So that's where the Mage College is.
Oh, right.
I'm serious about this, dude.
White. It's called White.
Not Whiterun either. That's where the Jarl of.
Dude,
that's where that's where the Jarl is.
Wait, what are we thinking about then? Where?
The Imperial. It's not Stormwind.
Solitude.
Solitude. No, Solitude is where the Nord. That's where the Nord. That's where the Nord capital is. The Imperial Imperial capital is. Not Stormwind, because I think Stormwind is Warcraft. I have to check. I have to fucking check. Take your fucking final bets.
Windhelm.
Windhelm. It is fucking Windhelm,
Is it
I believe.
Windhelm?
I think it's Windhelm. It's right here.
Oh,
thanks.
It's tiny as fucking.
Sick.
There you go. Okay, Whiterun, Solitude.
Windhelm is where the Nords are.
Winterhold.
I guess it is Solitude. But this seems kind of.
It's a strange map.
This does seem kind of different, doesn't it?
There you go.
Morthal, no. Maybe it is Solitude. I think it is.
That isn't right at all.
It's Dawnstar, then. It's got to be Dawnstar. Solitude is a quiet little city in the northern lands of... But I thought
Yeah, this isn't right.
Wait, I think it's rotated. It's rotated. So I think it is Dawnstar. Yeah,
okay.
it is rotated.
I see.
Here. We're looking at this for everybody who's... So you'll see here that it's usually... This is the bottom of the map, and we're looking right up into Whiterun. Yep, Skyrim, motherfuckers. We play it.
Have you played it in VR?
Mm-hmm.
How's that?
I don't get dizzy. That's
Really?
how much I love it.
Dude.
Yeah, dude. I'm a Dragonborn.
Yeah.
No, dude. I can sit and I play, and I'm able to immerse myself in the VR. So Kenzie gets sick. My buddy Kevin Williams, I grew up with. He was into Skyrim. He gets sick playing it, but let me tell you something, man. If you can get yourself around it, it's like you hear a dragon, look up, it flies over you, and you're shooting bow and arrows. And when you knock the bow, it vibrates just this, and vibrates more in this hand.
Really?
So
I need to try.
And then you let go, and it vibrates from this to this hand. So it's like.
Yeah,
and it really feels
that's awesome.
Oh, they really dialed it in. But yeah, but you have to wear your glasses, man. So when you get some contacts, when you get LASIK, you come on over here and we'll stream it. We'll do a whole fucking thing. It's really fun too because I can when I have my friends play, I just lay on the couch and lift this screen up as high as I can and almost project everything you're doing. So I'll watch you play.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, wearing the glasses is a bummer. That's why I don't use my PSVR.
Yeah,
ever.
But honestly, I pack it away, and it's a commodity.
Do you have the Oculus, or
I have the Rift? Yeah,
nice.
I have the Oculus Rift. I don't play as many video games. I was just at my friend's birthday party, and everybody was like, "Oh, when are you gonna play video games with me?" And it's so funny, how much I'm on the computer. But I'm really and I'm gonna update my graphics card to 2080.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. I love this more than I love video games. I think I love what video games do. I love experiencing that. But I don't know. I love I'll always love video games. I think I love video games more than I love playing them. Does that make sense? I love discussing them. Especially the old ones. I love experiencing the new ones, but I can't tell you the last time I beat a game, watched the credits roll. It's been a long time.
Red Dead Redemption 2. It took me how many months is that? I don't even know.
There's no fucking way I'm doing that. There's no gosh darn way.
It took me. That game came out in October of last year. It's now May, and I just beat it.
Yeah, see, I fucking want to, and I love it, so you guys, but the world needs people like me, because I YouTube so much gameplay. I YouTube a fuck ton of gameplay to the point where I'm mad that you don't create more content than you do, because I would exclusively only watch memory card gameplay. I watch so much gameplay more than I play video games, I think. I really do. A little no commentary playthroughs. Love it.
Really?
Love it. I watched Sekiro. It was just, I would veg out in front of the TV. and do it. Yeah, man, I'll always love video games, dude. Oh, everybody's getting down on it, dude. I know we have a group of 4 already, but August 26th, people are fucking already like, oh my god, Andrew is a fucking over his head
What's going
dork
on
right now. Nothing, just World of Warcraft Vanilla is being re-released.
Classic, right?
Yeah,
WoW
dude,
classic.
and I think we're all gonna get together and get down on that.
Oh,
dude,
that's sick.
you should play, dude. I've
actually never played. Wow.
You would enjoy it. You would enjoy it, and it's really fun, and you would burn off in it. Like, I think 2 weeks of your adult life, you'd be like, okay,
Yeah, I'm out.
yeah, but I can't
I'm
can't imagine it being more than, it was $15. It was free at start. You just paid for the membership.
Right.
You get a membership. I think it's $10 a month, and yeah. But me, Mike D, Topher, and Corey Wells are all gonna play on the same server, and you should hop on because we can all you share quests and we can roll around together in
down.
A group of fucking 5. It'd be super fun.
I've always wanted to try it. So,
do you have a tendency to pick a certain kind of character when you play games like that?
Like an RPG?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
I like to play as characters that benefit the entire like party that you're with.
So shaman or
like healers or tanks. I typically don't like to play as like characters that only kind of benefit themselves, like warriors or archers, stuff like that. I like to play as beneficial characters for everyone. I'm just that kind of guy.
Nice.
Generous.
I appreciate that.
So I like playing as healers. So whatever that is, clerics, shamans, or if it's like a more like a deeper RPG experience, I would build out a character to fit that profile.
For sure.
That's the kind of
absolutely.
thing I'm into. So I don't know what I would play in WoW.
Do you pick like orc or something?
Oh, I don't know. No, orcs are fucking nasty looking.
Yeah, they're always nasty. So my little brother, bless his heart, but he is an orc. Like, he's an orc kind of guy. He's big. He's loud. He's an orc, dude.
Yeah.
Like, he's an orc dude, and he picks orc tanks. Like, and
that's his thing.
But he looks like one. He's like an orc tank. He's like a fucking actual orc tank. But yeah, I'm always picking mage.
Really?
Just always. Dude, we're playing a video game. I'm fucking got magic up the ass.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like the fucking, like, I already know what it's like to not have fucking magic, Let me get some fucking
spells.
So we'll see. Yeah. So, yeah, I fucking like that shit. But we'll play. We'll nerd out on that. It's a good time. I talked to you about playing some computer games with me the other week. We didn't get a chance to do that.
Yeah, you hit me up asking if I wanted to jam, and I was busy.
You're just doing something, but you do have a PC that plays video games?
Yes.
What kind of video games do you like playing? So let's say Lauren, that's her name, right?
Yes.
Lauren, she goes out of town, you get a weekend to yourself, and you're like, I'm going to play video games.
Yeah.
Do you hop on the Xbox? Do you play PlayStation?
I have everything. I have a PC, Switch, Xbox, and PS4. So I buy games for all of them. I mean, not the same game for each thing. But
but only exclusives?
Well, if it's a multi-platform, I get it on PS4 most of the time. Because I used to be like dedicated Xbox, but there's no reason to do that anymore. So I usually buy I just bought Rage 2, which just came out today.
Yeah, a lot of people are playing that.
Yeah. I just picked that up.
Have you not played it yet?
No, I played it today for about maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Do you stream it?
I put a video up today about
You did?
it. Yeah.
Oh,
so
sick.
check that out later.
Oh, fuck, dude. Shout out. Dude, I wonder, am I allowed to play your videos on this stream?
Yeah, well, yeah, because I'm not gonna copyright them.
Yeah. Oh, but you would copyright them, right?
How?
Because what if it was somebody? What if it wasn't me?
Oh, if someone else was playing my videos,
but it would come on. They would would they have to like contact you and be like, "Yo, man"?
Well, I think I would need to initiate a strike against you, or like claim that as my work. Yeah. Maybe. I mean, I don't know how that. I don't know if it's automatic.
Yeah.
But if it was, I would just say, "Nah, it's cool. Let that."
Yeah, for sure. So maybe let's start a thing, because I'm serious. I definitely like the vibe of me doing this, and you seem enthusiastic about creating content too, and I think that's really fun and something that we should definitely explore. And I think it'd be cool if we did like a memory cards breakdown.
Oh yeah, we talked about that the first time I was on. Yeah, and that's something I'm super into.
Yeah, for sure, because I think it'd be super fun. First of all, I love our conversations. You definitely have an experience with this kind of scenario, you know, as opposed to, and all my guests are fucking awesome, but I don't have all of them on to have a discussion. I understand that some of my guests aren't, you know, I'm having them on because they're good at this, you know, and I want to learn about this. But the conversation isn't something that comes naturally to them. But I feel like me and you could talk.
Well, yeah, I mean, like if you want me to come on when like a new game comes out, like Rage 2, for example. Like if you wanted me to come down and bring Rage 2, we could have played it for an hour.
Yeah, we for sure. I have to I could, but can you upload that to YouTube? Will YouTube let you play games, but you can't play music? Like it's.
Yeah, no, okay, so. I was actually going to bring this up earlier because something reminded me of it. I think it was right when we started talking tonight. But I was going to mention my experience uploading to YouTube I've been doing it now for about 3 years, and what I've experienced in terms of like copyright issues. So in the first couple years I was doing it, any video I put up that had any relation to a Nintendo game would immediately get a copyright strike. Like it's within seconds of it being uploaded. And that means...
Get a strike?
Not like a strike, like do it 2 more times and you're done. It was more...
Is that real?
What?
Like 3 strikes?
Oh, I don't know if that's exactly how it works, but...
Do you have a not happy face under your...
No, mine's good.
You have a happy... Fine. Your happy face.
So when it came to like Nintendo games, like if I would record 30 minutes of a Nintendo Switch game and put that footage up on my channel... I would get a message seriously like seconds after it fully uploaded and went live saying that this video contains material that is owned by Nintendo and you can't monetize this video for yourself. It'll still be monetized, but any revenue is going to go to Nintendo. And that's it. Like you can keep the video up. We're not going to remove it. We're not going to force you to take it down. But any revenue that this video will generate is going to be sent to Nintendo. Which, you know, I'm not doing this to make money. I'm doing it for fun. Yeah. So I didn't care. Like I don't care that happens. But a lot of people who are have larger followings or rely on this to make money essentially wouldn't be able to create any content of their own featuring Nintendo stuff.
Like anything Nintendo Switch.
Right. Or even anything Nintendo related. Like if they wanted to post footage of a Nintendo game from any era.
I'm not even thinking outside of streaming. So like if you wanted to cover Nintendo, whatever.
Like I'm thinking if you made a Nintendo, like a video like top 10 N64 games or something, like there's a pretty high chance that you would have been unable to monetize the video or been unable to do certain things with it because Nintendo would copyright it for themselves. But that actually changed, I think, midway through 2018 or somewhere around there, where Nintendo reversed that policy and now you can create content with Nintendo games and monetize it for yourself.
Oh wow.
And so ever since then no video I've uploaded that has Nintendo stuff will get that copyright notice. And so far, I mean, I've uploaded hundreds of videos of gameplay from all different systems, all different kind of games, and I've never received a takedown for any of them. I've never received anything that would have harmed the channel, essentially. But I've gotten plenty of copyright notices that say you just can't monetize it.
Yeah, I've got that was what initiated me to be like, okay, I need to work on a formatting thing.
Right.
And I don't know if you're familiar with the new formatting. So what this would be now is, first of all, I'm not surprised, because I think that talking is weird. Just, we touched base on that earlier. It's a trait that everybody has a story to tell. So talking, you get you get more juice than you would think out of just having a discussion. But how this would go would be, me and you have a discussion, and so I got some video games, blah, 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 blah. Maybe this is something that's discussed before, but I would cut this stream.
Yeah.
upload to YouTube as a podcast. Mm-hmm. And eventually I'll be stripping audio, I have to figure out what I want to do. I think I'm going to do an audio platform eventually where this is
just audio
taken to audio. Yeah, but it still exists
as video
on YouTube. I like that we can see each other's faces, and see each other's reactions and shit.
Yeah, it's cool.
And as this evolves, it'll, maybe it'll be more and more important that we can see each other's face. Like if I have my buddy on and he's mixing cocktails on here or some shit. So we would cut the stream, upload to YouTube, and then we would do whatever, fire up music, whatever, get the chat involved, whatever we got to do, and that would just remain in a collection on Twitch. I'm curious to where this is going to go for me. I think about it all the time, and I think about like restream, streaming on YouTube. But I think I like that if you want to engage, and this might just be my thing for the rest of time, is that the export is at a click of a button on Twitch. All of them, I don't lose any quality. It's uploaded in the same output in which I stream, which is 720 at 60 frames, which is more than enough for something like this. I'm reluctant to stream straight to YouTube because you can get pulled, and I think so. The move is, because I got I'm trying to sort this out in my head so it sounds choppy, but just stream on Twitch, export to YouTube, share via YouTube, because getting people to go see past broadcasts on Twitch, the video player is clunky. It's just
I'm not a fan.
Yeah, and I don't think anybody is. That's why I think it's important to kind of create that library with the local only session, number 22, dash, all in the same format. It's easier to do that on YouTube. It just looks cleaner. It's how everybody tends to get their podcast. But our gaming session that we would do, I need to create another graphic for it. Think of a different name, but it would be essentially the local only session, copy wrong or some shit, Yeah. This is me just being an idiot. And it's where we fuck the copyright right into the ground, and we are almost doing everything short of getting sued on Twitch, and that remains on Twitch, just because that's the best we can do, with the copyright infringements. The world doesn't want you to use other people's shit.
Nah.
So it's tough, but that's just the way it goes.
Yeah.
I've also started cutting down the streams to about 2 hours.
That works.
Which is effective. I think 3 hours, there's a lot of situations you're easy to talk to, but like I would notice myself decline in energy and keeping shit going for the sake of conversation, and it just seems kind of
when it comes to this, I mean, you're the master of this domain, and I think that if anyone's going to have a good sense of when to end things, like a conversation, or when you feel like it's been wrapped up enough. I mean, I think if not now, then as you keep doing this, you'll gain like that perfect barometer for when exactly to do that.
Yeah, but I also don't want anybody to feel like, yo, man, like, what the fuck? Like,
we went 45 minutes, bro.
Yeah, but like, dude, you talked to this guy for fucking 2 minutes. So 2 hours is a good...
Perfect.
It's a good, like, just get to 2 hours with everybody. And, after that, it's not too overindulgent.
We're at the 2 hour mark, actually.
We are at the fucking 2 hour mark. Look at that. This is always too fucking easy doing this with you, man.
We tend to just get into it right away, and time flies.
It fucking does, and it almost seems like the sky didn't even change outside.
The sky rim.
But you were here earlier. Before we get the fuck out of here, you want to give any updates on what's going on with your channel, because that's what's more important.
For sure. Thank you. So today marks the first video I put up in like a week and a half. The last video I did was about Days Gone. And so today, video up about Rage 2. And I mentioned in that video that I have some stuff in the works, stuff cooking. I think I probably talked to you about this the first time I came on, is that one of the things I was most proud of doing this is that I'd built a lot of relationships with indie developers, a lot for Nintendo Switch, but for other stuff as well. When it came to like reviewing their games or them viewing us as a trustworthy source for them to help spread the word about their projects. And that's something I was like really stoked on, is that people who had spent a year developing a game felt that what I was doing and what also my friend Jake, not Jake who was here yesterday, different Jake, who works on the channel with me, felt that we were just a good place to allow their content to be shared on. And that's something I was like, it's awesome. And so that is something that's being ramped up again, where a bunch of these indie devs are starting to re-engage with us in a good way. So it's going to be a lot more on the channel, indie game stuff. That's pretty cool.
For sure, man.
Yeah.
So for any of you watching, make sure you get to that YouTube URL at...
it's just memory cards.
And then
Simple as that.
And then that Twitter account is...
YouTube.com. There it is. YouTube.com, memory cards, and you're set.
And that Twitter handle is...
Memory cards YT.
Pound those knuckles. Thanks, Julien. I've always had a blast with you, man. I appreciate you coming on. And thanks for scheduling this.
Yeah.
I really appreciate that. It's a good call, man. And
I love it.
I'll
be back soon.
Yeah, and we'll make sure that we discuss fucking Game of Thrones after this Sunday, but it's looking grim. Yeah. All right, y'all. Peace out.